from the college's point of view, one of the most premier awards we have, or the most premier award we have, and we have made 23 of them since 1992, is to make people a fellow of the college. And our inaugural fellow, Harry Campkin, is sitting over here. Harry, please stand up. And using Google, we do have other fellows here as well. Samantha Cofield, Professor Anne Williamson, Ian Cameron, Narelle Hayworth, Laurie Moran, and Barry Watson. So if they could stand as well, and you can acknowledge their fellowship. And Raf Gibietta. I was just checking, Raf, to see you're listening. And we do have other fellows, unfortunately not here this evening, but it's a fantastic award, and I'm really delighted tonight to be able to offer 2 fellowships. This is fairly unusual for us, but we think the nomination process is quite tricky, but we've had 2 nominations for which we've accepted. The Fellowship Committee has accepted, and the first one goes to Associate Professor Jeremy Woolley. Jeremy, come up, please. And Jeremy's citation is for outstanding and sustained advocacy and leadership, particularly within the Australasian College of Road Safety, and as the Director of the Centre for Automotive Safety Research at the University of Adelaide. As co-chair of the inquiry of the National Road Safety Strategy, he elicited, discussed and documented a diagnosis of and a path forward for road safety in Australia, which will be referred to for many years to come. I've asked the Deputy Prime Minister to present this to Jeremy. Thank you. You want to say a few words?
Okay, thank you, and Deputy Prime Minister and Lauchlan, and all of you out there, thank you very much. This is indeed a very humbling experience, and I am indeed privileged to be in this position. I reflect on my many years working in road safety, and the one thing I'm proudest of is that I can work with the likes of the people who populate this room, the staff at my research centre who give me inspiration on a daily basis, and of course meeting people directly affected by the tragedy and the blight of death and injury on our nation's roads. This award will do wonders to keep motivating me to keep fighting for that ultimate target of 0 harm on our roads, and I feel very privileged to be working with you all who are all doing great work in this area. Please keep up your efforts, we'll keep fighting on, and like all of you, we'll be watching very closely to see how the recommendations of this inquiry will lead to that step change we all desire. Thank you.
Just don't go away. And our second fellowship this evening, I'm absolutely delighted to be offered to Dr John Crozier. John? I think I said on the other day that we often omit, when we're doing our road safety work, we focus on the drivers, the vehicles and the roads, and we often forget the management issue, the research at the top, and also the trauma, the need to manage the trauma. And people like John, his citation reads, for tireless work as a surgeon over decades in improving the care and victims of road trauma and being a relentless ambassador, an advocate for so many improved road safety initiatives. As co-chair of the review of the National Road Safety Strategy in 2017-18, his contribution was essential in ensuring the impacts of road trauma were very well recognised. John, congratulations. Just a few words from John, thank you.
Lauchlan, thank you. And it is a very humbling experience to be privileged in the way of receipt of this award, particularly on the 30th year of the Australasian College of Road Safety. It does allow the opportunity again to flag the silent epidemic that we have become complacent as a nation about. And it's particularly as a surgeon that I'm keen to allow the platform, the Australasian College of Road Safety, to be a vehicle for the message. I'm also privileged to have seen the journey in the delivery of the report and to work with Jeremy, Rob McIntosh and Lauchlan McIntosh. It's been a great privilege to have encountered Lauchlan and across a number of years to have learnt and to see the way he offers in a spirit of hope so many solutions. But I'm also conscious that there is steel behind the soft diplomatic veneer. And I did notice the Deputy Prime Minister wasn't using his left shoulder quite as well as his right shoulder. And I sort of formed the view he's probably had a fairly strong, relentless arm twisting. Now, I praise the fact that the Minister, Darren Chester, stood up this inquiry. That was a significant act of courage. A passionate commitment, and the inquiry is his legacy. But in the spirit that the inquiry was initiated, the Deputy Prime Minister has committed to and continued that task. It's been very enervating to hear the words that he just delivered in relation to the receipt of that message and a promise to carry forward the words in the report. But I'm conscious, as I said, he's not moving the left arm quite as well as the right. There's probably been a degree of twisting of that rotator cuff. I think he identifies very closely with Cooper Cronk. Now you might note that Cooper Cronk last weekend led a team to victory with a very sore shoulder. So I think that's a wonderful, wonderful metaphor for what I think the future holds. So I'm pretty sure I know who the perpetrator for that sore left shoulder is. I am not a surgeon who can do much about musculoskeletal injury, I'm sorry, but I do know some people who can, Deputy Prime Minister. So on that note, thank you. Thank you all.
Congratulations. Thank you very much, John. And to the Deputy Prime Minister, thank you for your words and thank you for your announcement of the governance review. We think that is absolutely vital to be done, and the sooner it's done, it's a tough job, but we will then be in a position to move forward with the recommendations. Thank you very much. So all we have to now know is hope that we'll be singing money, money, money next for the next bit, where we want the $3 billion to make the $30 billion saving in the road trauma. Thank you very much.